All right, we are live, and we'll wait and see how many people show up in the chat room. Looks like we have a couple of people, one person watching. All right. All right, folks. We'll let a couple of other people jump in here. Let me reboot the old laptop. Got the laptop down here so I can watch the comments. Sling Studio. And is it going to do it? I think it might. It's trying. Oh, come on. The great thing about going live is you can't anticipate everything. All right. Why is everything out of focus here? Oh, I know why. Because it's... There we go. Let's bump that up to 720 and see if it'll hold it. All right, so anybody that's in the chat can jump in, say hello. At least I'll know everybody's, or, well, somebody's here. We'll see if the chat works better here. Come up. Folks, you're going to have to put up with me here. I don't know what's wrong with the Wi-Fi. Every time it rains here, I'm battling bandwidth for some reason after it rains. I have no idea what the problem is. I'll blame Spectrum. It's their fault. Anyway, all right, looks like we're up and running. Well, there it goes again. I have no idea what's going on. So hopefully you can still drop some comments, and we'll see how it goes from there. Come on, come on. I wanted to do this chat, this live stream about the Nikon Z7 since it was just launched and just got in everybody's hands. I've seen a few people posting their thoughts, what they think of it so far, and for the most part, they've been good. I think that it's a great camera. I don't have my hands on it yet. No, I shouldn't say yet. I don't plan on getting the Z7. I plan on getting the Z6. But back to the Z7, it seems that there may be some buyer's remorse from some of the people that bought it, and for a lot of different reasons, or well, a lot. For those that are complaining about it, it seems that it didn't live up to the hype that they expected. Now, I don't know where the hype came from. I think it came from us just talking about it, especially talking about the specs. So anyway, I have no idea why they feel like they have to just jump on the internet into forums and start talking about the camera is no good or there's problems with it. I don't see that. I don't think the camera was developed and I don't think the camera was meant to be the replacement for the D5 or the D850. Yes, they talked about the resolution being as high as the D850, and so far from the stills that I've seen from the people that have it, and this isn't the pre-production, these are people that actually have it in their hands now, those stills look fine. So I have no idea what the problem is there. Now, I will say that a few of the people have talked about the problem that they're having with it is they're maybe wildlife photographers. I know that I've seen 3 different wildlife photographers talk about the camera's not for them. They bought it. It's going back. Whether they send it back or not, who knows. But that'll be good for anybody that's waiting in line, maybe. I would like to see... hang on a second. Okay. No doubt about it. Here we go. Hopefully we've got enough bandwidth now for me to see comments. So I see we got one person watching right now. I don't know who that is, but if you haven't dropped a comment, please do. We'll see if we can make this work again. All right. Man, the chat room's filling up, folks. We've got 2 people. Well, now we have 1. Oh, come on. Do. And I have no idea what's going on here. I am so sorry for anybody that's tuned in and wondering what's going on. Join the club. I'm wondering as well. I have no idea why I'm caught in this loop. All right, so again, we'll try the chat. Chat window's open. Hopefully I haven't set something so that nobody can chat. All right. Anyway, the intent for this live stream was to discuss again the Nikon D7. I've seen some folks post they're not happy with the camera. Again, most of those are wildlife photographers and sports shooters, and I get that. Maybe it's not meant for them. The big thing for me, again, is the video. Nikon finally decided to produce a camera that actually has some video capability, and that's what I'm looking forward to. As you can see with the setup that I've got right now, I could really use the Nikon Z7. Not just that, but it's also going to afford the opportunity to get out and about with the camera and do some video. I'm really looking forward to the in-body stabilization. For those that already received their cameras, they speak very highly of the in-body stabilization. So really happy that, it's working out real well. I'm hoping, though, that the AF in the video is as good as we expected. So far, some of the videos that I've seen have been extremely good. The 120 1080p looks fantastic. I've seen a few videos where the slow motion, the 120 frames a second, looks fantastic. The resolution on that Z7 is fantastic. I mean, it's a megapixel monster for a mirrorless camera. And that alone should put it ahead of the game with most of the competitors. Yeah, it's got some shortcomings. I get that. But, in a couple of iterations down the road, there's no doubt in my mind, it won't be just on par. It'll be competing very well with the likes of Sony and Fuji and, well, Panasonic in the game now. Canon, again, no doubt that their entry will do extremely well after a couple of versions of it as well. All right, so that said, I have no idea why I'm not seeing my chat come up here. Maybe I can get rid of a few windows here and help the old computer out, and maybe we get enough bandwidth that we can get this thing going so that I can see some comments. So anyway, did the camera live up to the hype? And, that's a good question. First, we have to determine what was the hype. I think we brought about a lot of the hype with this camera. We wanted something that, we may or may not have received. I don't think Nikon oversold the capability of the camera. A lot of people may argue with that. They did say that it was comparable to the D850, but they did not say in what aspect. Obviously, the resolution is there. And again, from the photos that I've seen so far, it looks like it's fantastic. Will it meet the need of the sports shooter and the wildlife shooter? Well, evidently not, based on a couple of people's comments. Will it work in the studio? I think it will. I think it'll work extremely well in the studio. Landscape photographers, I don't think that there'd be any problem with that as well. But again, the video, I love what I'm seeing so far in the video from the Z7, and I expect that the Z6 will be as good, if not a little bit better. I've seen a couple of reviews on the dynamic range, and you know, the camera looks great. I'm hoping that we'll see a whole lot more of that. Now, my intent for this video was to discuss with everybody else, and I can see that I'm not getting any chat, so I have no idea why that's happening. And again, if you please make sure you drop a comment in there, so hopefully I can address any questions that come up. And so far, I have no idea why I'm not seeing it. Here we go. All right. So Dave says he's been using the Nikon Z7 for the past 2 days. It's a lot better than the spec lead you to believe. Most of the reviews on YouTube got a lot of things wrong. Well, I believe that, Dave. You know, we all got a little upset with some of the influencers, and they just jumped all over what they thought was bad about the camera, except for Jared Poland. It's funny, when he went to the hands-on event, he seemed to like the camera. He said a lot of good things about it, and then followed it up with a video talking about how it wasn't so great. So I'm not so sure that that, you know, something, I don't know what happened. A little upset about that myself. We saw Tony and Chelsea, the Northrops, their initial look at the camera. They found a lot of faults. Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's what you would hope to see in reviews, is people pointing out what's good, what's not so good. But the problem is they were invited out to Hawaii for the Canon EOS R release. And if you look at the thumbnails on those two videos, tell me you don't see something strange. I mean, you know, it's almost a thumbs down on the Nikon and a big, happy, smiling thumbs up for the Canon. So I don't know that one's better than the other, but they sure didn't show any impartiality between the two. So I wasn't happy about that. What I'm really not happy about is it seems that we don't have any Nikon ambassadors, and I don't mean the true Nikon ambassadors, but apologists or folks that support Nikon on YouTube. I see very few people that make videos and talk about the good points of shooting Nikon, and I'd like to see a lot more. I'm hoping that people will get their hands on these new Z series cameras with the video capabilities, and they'll jump into the arena and start producing some videos as well. I may not be the best at this, but I'll guarantee you I'm going to do my best to make sure that Nikon gets a fair shake, or at least for as much as I can. I don't know how many people I'm going to have around to actually watch that or see that or respond to it, but whether they do or they don't, I would hope that they'll jump on YouTube and start doing the same thing. I mean, everywhere you go, you search for Nikon and you get 2 or 3 old videos. But when you do a search for anything Canon, anything Sony, and it's just one video after another, one YouTuber after another. I know that there are a lot of people shooting Nikon, and I'd like to see a lot more people doing this. We all want to learn about the different points about each camera that we own. The D850 is a fantastic camera, but very few videos out there that talk about the D850. Very few people that have their hands on it out in the field doing things like all the Canon shooters and the Sony shooters. I think it's time we change that. If we really want to put Nikon on the map, not that they need to be, but visually, if you will, then we've got to start praising the good about Nikon and making sure that the word gets out there. With these new Z series cameras, the hybrid shooter, the millennial generation, that's what they're after. They're looking for a camera to go out and be the next big filmmaker. 1 in 1 million will actually achieve that, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact that they're buying the cameras and they're getting the cameras out in the field, and people are being exposed to Nikon, and that's what we want to see. So I'm just fed up with all the negativity about Nikon, and even in the forums, have forums just gone crazy? Is it just me, or I mean, I think it's every forum. It's not just a Nikon forum. People have just gone crazy. I mean, they just get on there and air anything, whether it's factual or not. And trolling's just fantastic now. I mean, it's hard to tell some are even trolls until it's too late and you're caught up in a heated exchange with them on a forum. But all this negativity, and I want to change that. I want Nikon to have its place on YouTube, if you will, but out in the video world. I'm hoping that others are going to do the same thing. So anyway, what say you? You know, let's get the conversation going. If somebody wants to chime in with their thoughts, Dave, thanks for stopping by and at least talking about what you think about it. Let's see. I hear a comment of missed focus, 1 of 1,200 shots. Yeah, because Nikon's the only one that would happen to. I mean, you know, Canon, Sony, Fuji, they never miss focus. So, what do you think about the face detect AF, Dave? Have you played with that much? We'll watch for your comment here. And is everybody seeing this lagging that's going on? If so, I may have to shut this down, reboot, and start again. I have no idea why I've got such low bandwidth right now. But again, it did rain, so I'm in Connecticut, and I'll tell you, it's just one battle after another, especially with the rain that we've had lately. So, again, back to my rant. Is there anybody worth looking at in the YouTube arena that talks positively about Nikon? I've searched. I found a few people. But, I mean, for the most part, again, Nikon just doesn't get a fair shake, it seems like. I've been a Nikon shooter. I've said in one of the other videos. I started with Nikon when I jumped into the digital world, which is a funny story as well. I had the Nikon. After years of being out of photography and doing film photography and learning film photography even more in the military, and that's building my own developer and or enlarger in a garage and developing my own black and white prints. But I decided to pick a camera up again, and wanted to step in lightly, so I grabbed what was it, a D5000, and it had the tilty flippy screen. And as I went around your comment, you only used pinpoint so far and is good for stills. Well, okay, so it's on par with the DSLRs. At least we know that much. I'm really looking for somebody that might have played with the video AF. That's what I'm most interested in right now. I've got plenty of DSLRs. Shooting this right now on a D850. That's what you're looking at right now. Here, I'll jump over. This is the D5. The D5 is just an incredible camera. And it's doing a fantastic job for YouTube. I would hope so, right? So anyway, that's the D5. So I've got DSLRs. What I need now is something that's fantastic for video, and I'm hoping the Z6 fills that need. So anyway, one-shot video focus was spot on. Great. Glad to hear that. Thanks again, Dave. Dave, you keep throwing some comments in there, and I appreciate it. Anybody else that's in here and wants to make a comment, jump in. Let's get the conversation going. I don't just want to ramble on and begin another rant. So I'm really interested, though, Dave, in that face tracking AF in video. I mean, let's face it. If we want this camera to really jump out there and grab some of the hybrid market, then what we need is great AF in video, because that's what everybody's looking for. I mean, we already have the, we already have the in-body stabilization, which is a big deal. I mean, at least Canon kind of got beat up a little bit about that. And I'm sick of hearing about dual pixel AF, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and, you know, in the video world, and that Sony has IAF for stills, and I guess it works for video as well. I don't know. I haven't played with either camera. But, you know, I just don't believe Nikon's that far behind with what they have on the table now with the Z series for video. The 850, the D5, both fantastic video cameras. However, you either have to have it on a gimbal or you have to have the thing mounted on a tripod, which of course I do right now, obviously. So anyway, what do you guys think? Is this camera interesting to anybody that doesn't own it yet? Is it something you're going to pass on? Or you just don't care about video? And if you don't, I understand that too. There are plenty of DSLRs in the Nikon lineup that do a fantastic job for stills. And if it's weight that you were looking for, you just don't want to lug around a big heavy body, and you were hoping that the mirrorless would provide you with a stills, excuse me, a stills camera that has the same performance as your DSLRs. Well, I understand that too, but you know, the DSLRs haven't got that heavy that I can't lug one around. As a matter of fact, the two cameras that I'm using right now, the D5, obviously a pro body, and the D850, well, the D850 has the battery grip on it, and I'll lug those two around on a double strap everywhere I go doing event photography. And I really don't have a big problem with that, but I understand some people do. The weight's just too much. And I've heard wedding photographers talk about, well, you know, it's an all day long and your neck hurts and your shoulder hurts. Maybe it's because I'm retired military and I lugged a 60 to 100 pound rucksack around all my life. So a couple of cameras just don't even come close to what I'm, I guess, used to. So maybe it's different for everybody else. Dave drops another comment. Yeah, Ricky Talk. I've watched his channel, and yeah, he did a great job, actually, even before. I guess he was one of the hands-on testers under an NDA initially, and he did a lot of great videos looking at all the aspects of the camera. I've seen a lot of European videos. I will say that. It seems Europe has done a great job of promoting the camera. Some fantastic video coming out of Europe with the camera. So I saw that 1080p 120 video. I think it was an Italian that did it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the video is just fantastic. And it almost made me want to jump and buy the Z7 right now. Because the resolution, the color, everything, it was just fantastic. And that was all shot, that's all in camera. That wasn't the 10-bit 422 out. So, and I'm not so interested in that as much as I am just the video AF and the AF face detection or face tracking. So anyway, that's what I'm looking for. Again, I hope that others are going to jump into the arena and start producing videos. Why not? I mean, nobody can be look any more buffoon-like than me up here right now, yammering on. So let's get some videos out there of what the cameras can do, especially with the new Z series. Take some videos, start posting them, put them on YouTube. Show these people that this isn't, you know, this isn't a fluke, you know, or Nikon's not dying. And you remember those headlines. Is Nikon dead? Well, and I will say this. A lot of people said, is Canon dead? Are they going to die? Is Sony going to be left with the throne? I don't think Sony's sitting over there in their headquarters saying, yeah, that's it. We're good now. So anyway, back to Nikon. Let's get some videos out there. Come on, people. If you got the camera, do something with it and post it. Don't just talk about it in a forum. You know, my last video was on video content, and that's where everybody goes to look and review everything, and especially when it comes to cameras. We all enjoy sitting around watching the videos that come out of these folks that are looking at the cameras or testing the cameras or using the cameras. Well, let's spread some love and take our cameras and do the same thing. So I'm hoping that everybody that gets their hands on the D7, it's going to be hard to break that habit, and I'm sure others are fighting that as well. Let's hope that folks that have the Z7 are actually going to jump out there and start posting some videos. I'm really hoping so. All right, so it looks like we've got 5 people at least watching. And again, I'm sorry about the bandwidth, the lagging, and everything else. If you're seeing it on your end, at least drop me a comment and tell me that that is going on. I'll have to try to figure this out for the next live stream. But I really wanted to make this a success tonight, not for me, but for all of us that shoot Nikon. And I really need your help, you know, you guys posting comments, and again, taking some video, taking photos, and let's get some information out there so other people can see, not just the talking heads. You know, I look at videos that come from, you know, just amateurs like myself that are out using the cameras, and those mean as much to me as well, actually more sometimes than the talking heads. Now, that brings me to a point here with the Nikon ambassadors. There was a lot of flack about Nikon ambassadors only see the good. They're only going to talk about the good. They're not going to tell us what they really think of the cameras or anything else. Well, I mean, if you were a Nikon ambassador, you probably would do the same thing. And you can say all day long, no, I wouldn't. I'd be truthful. Well, you might. You probably wouldn't be a Nikon ambassador for very long. So, you know, hats off to them. They do their job. They use the equipment, and they produce some great work with Nikon cameras, both stills and video. So that's great. That's good for marketing. That's you know, great for Nikon marketing. But you know, we can add to that with our own cameras. So Dave, I appreciate you hanging in here, man. And drop me a comment and tell me if you're seeing the lagging on that end, because it seems like I'm having a terrible problem. I'm trying to track the comments and everything here, but it seems like it's way behind. So anyway, folks, anybody got any points they want to bring up, and drop in the chat room, and we'll get everybody involved in this rather than listening to my scraggly voice carry on. Let me jump over here to, you can see what I'm looking at. By the way, that feed is my iPhone 8 that's on a little bitty tripod over there, and it does a pretty good job. I'm really happy with it. The color seems to match well with the cameras. Of course, I played with the white balance for a while, trying to get everything to match up and get the lighting right. All right. As soon as my Z6 arrives, I will definitely post some video. Good on you, Marco. Thanks, buddy. As soon as mine arrives, you can bet there's going to be some video. Okay, good. No lagging from your point. All right, good. All right. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just I'm seeing it here on my end from my router or something. All right, good. All right, so that tells me that we can keep going here. So, all right, folks, if you've got comments or whatever, drop them in the comments box. Jump over here, back to the D5, and let me know. Let me know what you think. You know, let me hear from you. What are some topics that you guys want to get in a chat room and start talking about? Believe me, I can go on a rant. My wife told me I'm not supposed to do that anymore, but hey, if the topic's right, I'm willing to rant about it. I was pretty livid over some of the YouTube influencers on the initial look at the Z7. So anyway, what say you guys? What do you think about what you're seeing so far from the reviews or the influencers out there? Any comments welcome, and we'll talk about it. And again, Marco, thanks, buddy. You get the Z6, make some videos, throw them on YouTube. You got a subscriber here. I'm on it, buddy. I'll subscribe, and you do a live stream, I'm there. I just think it's time that we as Nikon shooters promote our cameras. Have no idea why that hasn't been the case in the past, but let's fix it. Let's be different from everybody in the past. So anyway, back to the Z7. Z7, a lot of I guess the pros were not happy. Well, so-called pros. I don't even know what a pro is anymore. To me, a professional is somebody that makes a living from their profession. I would venture to say most people that call themselves pro don't make a dime from their cameras or their camera equipment. And somebody's going to jump in and say, well, I do, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're the exception, I think. There are a lot of people that have pro ability, if I can coin that phrase. I think that they're very professional in the photos that they take and the videos that they make, but they're probably not earning a living. They're not paying the rent with their video and stills cameras. So. But anyway, the pros, again, everybody that considers themselves a pro, and some that are professionals, and those that are true professionals, I understand they may not be ready to jump on the mirrorless bandwagon for a lot of reasons. And we'll see how the camera shakes out in the next couple of weeks. We'll get more and more information as people begin to play with them and post some more content with them, be it stills or video. But the true pros, the working pros that are out there, maybe that's the term we need to use, working pros. I understand that it may not be for them just yet. I think that we'll see in the next probably 5 to 10 years. In 10 years, DSLRs won't be gone, but there will be equal number of mirrorless cameras in the hands of even working pros. I'm curious to see if Nikon drops a professional mirrorless body on the market before the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. What do you guys think? Is that going to happen, or you think we're in for a longer cycle refresh? I mean, I know we're going to get a pro body and a mirrorless camera. I'm really not looking forward to it, I got to tell you, because I'm afraid I'll have to have it. Do I need it? No, but I've had that conversation in forums a lot. I don't need anything that I have because I don't make my living with my cameras, but I want it. There's a big difference between need and want, and this is my hobby. It's not a cheap hobby, but I could spend my money on other things that are a whole lot more expensive. So anyway, now I'm going on about myself. So the Z series cameras are something that I'm interested in. Again, I'm waiting, I guess, until the end of November. I don't know when they're going to drop the Z6. I don't even know when they're going in production or if they are yet. So anybody has any rumors about that, let me know. So anyway, still no comments. Man, you guys are quiet. You just want to hear me ramble on about nonsense, I guess. Or go on a rant. Go on a Sony tear or Canon tear. No, I have nothing against the cameras, Sony or Canon. I do get a little bent with some of the Canon shooters and Sony shooters, especially the Sony folks who are not all, I won't say all of them, but some of them are just obnoxious. All right, folks, I'm going to give you guys a chance to drop a comment because I'm going to go reset the cameras and be back in about 20 seconds. Hang on. All right, I am back, and we have the D850 feed back and going. All right, so I think the heat might be building up in my DSLRs here. I don't know. That's the first time that's happened. I did a 1-hour live feed the other day with just some local friends and whatnot, and didn't have a bit of trouble. So I don't know why the shutter dropped on both cameras at the same time. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. So, comments? Anybody else? All right. Well, shoot. I'm gonna get better at this, folks. I'm gonna get better at it because I really want to make it work. I really want to see Nikon get its due, if you will. All right. Hey, Woody. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I think, you know, we haven't seen a lot yet, but I wanted to jump on this early enough. I'm already seeing some of the drama in the chat rooms or the forums. You know, people find one thing that doesn't work for them, and maybe it's a unique thing that they need, and all of a sudden the camera's worthless. And, you know, that's not a fair shake, I don't think. It's fine to say, hey, look, I need X, and this camera does not provide X. So it's just not the camera for me. But to run the camera down and say that it's no good or it's worthless just because X isn't there for you, I think that's not fair at all. If we want to continue to shoot Nikon, then we need to be fair. And we need to start talking about at least the positive. It's fine to mention something that's a negative. That's okay. But if it doesn't take away from the overall ability of the camera, then let's not say that the camera is worthless. And, you know, that's what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of people. Actually, we heard that before the camera even got in anybody's hands, even before there was a hands-on. So, yeah, totally different views. I agree, Woody. You're absolutely right. A lot of people are very content with the camera. I would like to see some of the working pros that have picked up the Z7, have the Z7. I'd like to see some content from them. And, you know, I got to be fair here. They haven't had time to really produce anything yet. But as soon as they start producing it, I'm hoping we're going to get to see it. But, you know, we don't need to leave it all up to the working pros. A lot of us are proficient, artsy, technically proficient with our cameras. And we need to start providing some content for the masses as well. So if you own one, get out there and use it. Start posting some video. Don't worry about a big production or anything else. Just get it out there so people can see it. Yeah, maybe they're out there shooting right now. That's absolutely right. Not sitting in front of a computer. You're absolutely right, Dave. Yeah, you know, that's a good point, too. That's a fair point. For a lot of the people that provide YouTube content, you know, the old angry guy, we all know how he is. You know, he rants and raves, and he's never wrong. He's the smartest man on earth. And I don't know that he ever uses anything that he talks about. And, you know, I'm not going to pick on him too much because I don't want all of his fans over here screaming at me. But, I mean, let's face it. If you're going to produce some content, at least have some results to show. And that goes for me as well, which I plan to do. You know, at least I tried to set a studio up that looks halfway decent. I'm trying to use the equipment as it was meant to be used, and with the, you know, small deficiencies in the video with the D5 and the D850, as long as it's on a tripod and it's fixed and it's not hunting for focus, then, you know, they do a fantastic job. And again, that's what I'm hoping the Z6 is going to bring about, is that ability to use autofocus in video. Yes. Woody, yeah, buddy, I know, I hear you. if the D7100 is taking care of all your needs, then that's understandable. I get that. I don't need one. I don't need the Z6, but I want it, and I'll probably, well, not probably, on a pre-order list for the Z6. Hopefully in the first batch that ships, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you don't need it and you have no desire for it, then that's fine. Shoot what you got, and that's fine. But again, how many people are really producing anything with their cameras and sharing it with the world? And the world is now YouTube, believe it or not. We all post a picture in a forum, which nobody sees. They're fanboy forums, and I don't have a problem with fanboy forums. I like going to my fanboy Nikon forums. But that's as far as it goes. Well, let's show the world what Nikon can do, rather than just sharing it with our Nikon friends and the pixel peepers and the people that want to criticize and they want to zoom in at 400%. So anyway, I think you get the picture. I shouldn't rant too much on it. Let me switch over. So there's the D5. How's the D5 holding up for everybody? That's on the 70 to 200G. I don't have the E version of that lens. I think it's at about 135 millimeter right now. So you can imagine it's sitting away from the desk here. But man, I looked at the monitor here. Man, that is just crystal clear. Am I bragging about my camera and lens? Well, maybe I am, but I mean, it is. All right, Dave. All right, buddy, enjoy the game. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the comments, man. We'll throw out a little alert for the next live chat and see if we can't get a few more people in here and get a real conversation going. But thanks for stopping by, man. So anybody else joining the chat there, drop a comment and we'll talk about it. You don't have to listen to me ramble on. So let's see, where were we? I was bragging about my D5 and its lens. Well, we all know that it's a great camera, but Marco, oh, you're from Toronto, man. Hey, there's a big wave from down the southern state here. D750. Let's see, but I want the Z6 for its video capabilities. D750 does good videos, though. Absolutely. I think, and again, right now I'm on the D5, but it's on a tripod. It's not moving. It's not on autofocus. So it does. It's fantastic. The D850. So here's the D850. Bam. D850, same way. Great camera, great video. It's on a tripod. It's not on autofocus, though. What I want is that autofocus ability so that I can move around in the shot and I don't have to worry about dropping out of focus. I believe we're going to get that in the Z6. I think we have it in the Z7. Everything that I've seen so far is not a lot, but everything that I've seen looks real good. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Dave, mentioned Ricky Talks. He did a fantastic job of showing us what the video looks like, at least some short clips. So it looks real promising, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. All right. D750 is a great camera, though, Marco. Nothing wrong with it. I almost bought one. Before the D850 came out, I really looked hard at the D750. I had a D810, so anyway, great camera. What do you see? Family photographer. See, all seem to like what I do. That's all. Absolutely, man. You bring up a good point too. That's something that really irks me, is to post a photo on a forum even, and people say, well, this, that, whatever, it's oversaturated, I don't like that, or I don't like black and white, or there isn't enough negative space, or blah, 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 blah. Or let's extend that. Let's go into Photoshop. People, that's been Photoshopped, and that's not the natural scene. You know what? I don't care. If the consumer likes it, and the consumer isn't the critic, if the consumer likes it, then it's good. I mean, that's the bottom line. I shoot a lot of photos for a lot of people. I shoot several events. I don't charge anybody for anything, but I shoot several events. And guess what? They all love it. They all love, they All right, so my cameras are dropping out. I'll jump back over and start those up again. But anyway, I agree with you, Woody. As long as your client loves what you produce, that's all that matters. And you know what? Truthfully, you can do that with just about any camera that you own. So hang on just a second. Let me trip the cameras again. I'll be right back. All right, so I've been looking at AC power for the cameras, and as you can imagine, that isn't cheap, but that may be the way to go here. I don't know if that's going to help me out or not, but see, we've been going almost an hour, so you know it's doing pretty good. I don't know if the sensor's getting hot, but I don't know what it is, but they want to drop from time to time. So anyway, back to what we were talking about, Woody. I agree with you 100% as long as the client's happy. And that includes Photoshop. Let's talk about that for just a minute. Don't mean to get off topic, but it's a good point you brought up. Client's happy, you're happy. I agree with that 100%. I think a lot of people get wrapped around the axle on this Photoshopping. I know that some of the ladies that I have photographed, a lot of friends or family or others as well, I often hear them say, can you get rid of this? Can you get rid of that? Can you make this look a little better? And I don't have a problem with doing that. So that might be worthy of a comment from many of you as well. I've heard photographers say they won't shoot anyone if that person wants a doctored photo or a manipulated photo. Okay, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But I haven't found any women yet that say, "Oh yeah, please leave all of my imperfections." And no matter how good the light is, if you can't get rid of it via good lighting, then do it or don't do it in Photoshop. I want that imperfection there. There are some things that people would notice missing, but you know, the occasional little wrinkle, or especially for younger folks that might have a problem with you know, their skin, pimples and whatnot. I haven't had any of them say, please leave all those in place, because they're not permanent anyway. So anyway, it's back to what the client wants. I don't have clients per se, but those that I've provided photos for in a studio setting don't have a problem with me making sure they look their best. And of course, we do everything we can with lighting, but lighting doesn't cover everything. So anyway, if your camera does what you need it to do and you're happy with it and you don't want anything else, there's nothing wrong with that. But that brings up another point in the forums. The people that say, my camera does what I want it to do, I don't want it and I don't care. And who needs it? And why are you getting it? You don't need it. Who are we to say what somebody needs or wants? If somebody wants it and they can afford it, and they're going to buy it, what's the problem with them doing that? So why do we get so uptight and start bashing somebody because they're going to buy a camera that they don't need, but they want it? And I guess the flip side of that is that marketing forces them to buy things they don't need. Well, true enough, but we're going to stop marketing for everything in life. You know, we're grown-ups, we're adults. If we make bad decisions, and we live with those bad decisions or whatever the consequences may be. But let's not jump on somebody because they're going to jump on a new product or a new camera or a new light or a new lens or whatever and say they don't need it, so they shouldn't buy it. If they want it, they should get it. So anyway, that's my feelings. What do you guys think? I don't know. I just get tired of people in forums doing that. And I get tired of the pixel peepers. And this is in some of my favorite forums. They're getting uglier and uglier, especially with the announcement of all these cameras lately. It's just been unbelievable. I will liken it to the D800. When the D800 came out, of course, I jumped on the list. I'll be a beta tester. I wanted it. And I got my hands on one as soon as they were shipping, because I called every Nikon authorized dealer in the United States to find one, and I found one right off the bat. But anyway, why do you need 36 megapixels? I didn't need 36 megapixels. I wanted 36 megapixels. Did it make my photography any better? I don't know, but it made me feel better. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I wanted it. And now we're in the mirrorless world, and we have people that you don't need mirrorless. Well, I was kind of one of those people too. I thought I don't need mirrorless. And then all of a sudden, I had some folks that wanted me to help out with some video, and I realized, you know what? If the new mirrorless cameras provide better video, then I'm all in. So here we go. And I'm all in for the Z6. Haven't touched it. Haven't touched the Z7 yet. I'm living vicariously through everybody else that owns it. So if you've got it, post it. Put it up. Get it on YouTube. Send a link. Let me know. I'm coming to watch. Woody, I've never had a card fail. You shoot RAW? Okay, I shoot RAW plus JPEG. After I load the RAW files and check to see if they're loaded, let's see. What do they need to be? Yeah. You know, Woody, 2 card slot deal. I was kind of upset that Nikon didn't put 2 card slots in the Z series. You know why? It had nothing to do with me needing 2 card slots. It was just I knew they were going to get slammed in reviews because they didn't have 2 card slots. As soon as I heard it, I cringed. Not because I want it. I've been shooting XQD cards since the D4. D4, same situation, D800. I got my hands on a D4 right off the bat. Came with my first XQD card. I still have that card, I think, somewhere. I used it for a long time. Bought other XQD cards. Man, Lexar, what happened? Gosh, man. Anyway, XQD cards have never failed me. It doesn't mean they won't, but they have never failed me yet. I ran one through a washing machine in my pants pocket and through the dryer. Never had a problem with that card. Didn't corrupt any files on it, didn't do anything to it. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody go do that, but it happened to me, and it sold me for sure on the durability of the XQD card. Now, I know it's not just the physical durability. XQD cards bring some other things to the table. And now with the advent of the, what is it, XQD Express, man, or what is it? Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. And the ability to be able to jump from XQD to the Express with a firmware update and these new cameras, man, talking about future-proof. And oh, by the way, Panasonic just put a XQD card in their mirrorless cameras. Canon's a big holdout. I know they really wanted that CFast to work out, but I don't know. And I guess with all the Slotgate hype, SanDisk and who else? Sony came out with a ruggedized SD card. I don't think that it's just the physical ruggedness of it that's causing all the problems. But anyway, so yeah, I'm extremely happy with XQD. Now, Z6, I'm really hoping that it's going to perform as well as I think it will. And if it doesn't, I'll let you know. If it meets my needs, then my needs aren't for paying the rent. My needs are just my expectations. If it meets my needs or my expectations, I'm going to let you know about that as well. I All right, folks. I don't know how informational this was. Really just wanted to get this ball rolling on the live streams. Maybe we'll try to schedule these and need to find a time when people are available. I know time is valuable to everybody, and obviously this time of the year, a lot of football games on and things like that. So I'll have to find a day in the week in the evening when everybody can tune in and see if we can't do more of it. Leave some comments in the, the after effects of the video once it's posted here on YouTube. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. Let me know what you want me to rant about. Again, I can go off as long as the wife isn't at home. Anyway, I'm actually enjoying this, and I hope you guys are as well. And Woody just dropped another comment. Yeah, good glass, any camera works, absolutely. Look, let's see. Well, what happened to you there, Woody? Anyway, I agree with you, Woody. Glass is as important as bodies, or more so, and a lot of people will tell you that, but as fast as glass is coming out nowadays, especially with these new PF or the Phase Fresnel models and Nikon's lineup, man, it's just hard to hang on to glass. You want that next new one. That 500 PF looks extremely good, man. Anyway, okay, so I digress. Folks, again, drop a comment, like or dislike. That's fine with me. Subscribe or don't. That's fine. You have your reasons for doing either. If you do like or dislike, I'd just like you to drop a comment. Tell me why you liked it or why you didn't. And we'll see if we can't make things a little bit better. But thanks for those that did tune in. And hey, have a good evening. Happy shooting. Thanks again. Bye-bye.